down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Hey, part 2, what I learned from E.T. Eric Thomas's boot camp just a couple of weeks ago. And there was so much information, I had to break it up to 2. I might even drop a number 3. Did appreciate all you guys hit me back up real fast on that you liked it and it was encouraging for you. It does mean a lot. So enough of that. If you don't know about Eric Thomas, Google him up. He's like the number 2 worldwide speaker, motivator. He's doing it. He's big. He's real. It's ET Inspires. Thank God it's Mondays. He's got a podcast out there. He's got albums and books and, you know, I believe life change. If you want to go to the next level, whatever you want to do, I think ET can get you there just by motivating you and keeping things on the real and the perspective. So that was the quick little intro. All right, number 1, where you focus, your energy flows. I know that sounds kind of simple, but it's true. I noticed there's a thing that I learned from Jim Rohn years ago called law of diminishing intent. So you're juiced up, you want to lose weight, let's say. Well, get down right there and do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. What you focus on, your energy, it's just like a law of attraction. You know the deal. When you buy a car, all of a sudden everybody's driving around in a Tahoe, or if you buy a red car, everybody seems to have a red car. That's the same thing. Wherever you focus, your energy will flows. All right, number 2, this is from CJ. This is the CEO, the brand manager, number 2, you could say, in the Eric Thomas Enterprises, Associates, whatever, OG, original, cool, cat. And he spoke a couple times there, and one of the things two things that he just got me on was the ability to self-assess, meaning stop and look at where you're at. Okay, for you to grow, to go to the next level, you got to know where you're at, right? So you can't necessarily buy apartments tomorrow. Now, can you jump through the leapfrog effect? If you know Robert Ringer's books, what wonderful books, Winning Through Intimidation. I definitely think it's requirement reading for all real estate investors in general. But he has a philosophy. It's like, why start at the bottom? You can jump to the leapfrog. I agree with that. But you got to stop. Where are you right now? What's your capacity? Do you have funding in place? If you don't have funding, do you have private money in place? Have you communicated? Do you have a financial statement? Self-assess. Self-assess. Where are you? A couple of things I chatted about the last one, but it takes 10,000 hours to be a master, to be so-called gifted. Or another way to look at it, 10 years and you're an overnight sensation. But to get to those, you can grind it out in one area in, baseball, but you're jockey size. It doesn't matter how many hours that it takes, you're going to swing that baseball bat if your body's made to be a jockey. And I don't know if that may not be the exact analogy. Remember, I make this stuff up as I roll, so you got to forgive me on that one. I didn't give a better example. But think about it. Stop and think where you're at. Write out what you're good at. Write out what you need to do and self-assess. I thought that was really cool. All right, CJ got me, blow me juiced up on this one. You got to respect the levels. Ooh, wow. Most people, like I said, the leapfrog effect, they just want to all of a sudden own apartments. All of a sudden they want to be CEO. All of a sudden they want $1 million in the bank. And they still working at McDonald's. Now you can get to $1 million from McDonald's, because I did it, right? When I was 14 years old, I worked at McDonald's. I don't know if you know that, but now you do. I'm not loyal to McDonald's, but I'm just going to let you know that McDonald's took a chance on me when I was 14. I got a work permit in New Jersey and Rockaway, New Jersey. Anyway, but the thing is, when he said it this way, the levels, when they were working on E.T., Eric Thomas, starting out, they were speaking in elementary schools. They were begging their way to get in there. No one was paying them. They're doing it for free. They want to make an impact in society and the youth and the urban youth, at-risk youth. And then they moved up to high school students. They had to convince the principal and the staff that they have a relevant message. So that's the level. You got to respect the levels. From elementary went up to the high school. From the high school, they went to junior colleges, not even D1 schools. Then they got to D1 schools, and then they just off the chain on D1s. And then all of a sudden, a following started. Then now people are willing to pay him money to come speak. And next thing you know, Eric Thomas is making $50K to speak first line. You got to respect the levels. There may be a glass ceiling, but you can see through it. You got to figure out what they said. I thought this was really cool, right? A lot of people want to meet the CEO. I want to pick your brain. I want to know, how can you run this $1 million company and you can't even balance your checkbook, right? That's just way from different levels. So you got to find out, say you're at a corporation right now and you want to be CEO, or you want to be district manager of all the car dealerships in Marin, California. Let's just say, hey, this is legit. Or you want to own a car dealership. And that's what I would do. If that's a desire in your heart, no doubt you should jump on that deal. But you find a guy that left the mailroom and now he's a sales associate. And from the sales associate, now he's the sales manager. You go up to him. That's the cat you want to take out to lunch. That's the guy you want to get to know. How did you do that? Who did you meet? He's like, I met Sally and Sally said this and I need to do that. And then I got to hook up with the HR person. And then I met that's how you do it. It's levels. It's steps. So you got to respect the level. And back to the number 2, you're self-assess, right? Self-assess. What level are you on? Let me marinate on that for a minute. Think about it. Right now, what level are you on? Where are you at in your career and what you're doing? Are you the master of your area? Are you just beginning? Are you just graduating high school? Are you just thinking about college? Where are you at? You want to have a doctorate? That's cool. You want to be a surgeon? Where are you at on the levels? And when you are just going through the levels, make sure you bring as many people into your world as a relationship and develop them. That was one. If I can, if someone asked me, what are the couple of regrets? Maybe I should do a podcast of all the regrets I have. Cause man, boy, I got a lot of regrets. There's a few closets, skeletons in there too, but we'll let that roll. But one of the things people beat me up when I was young. If you read my book or whatever, they said when I was in school, you're not going to go to college. You're going to amount to nothing. You need to be a woodworker. You need to learn a trade. That I was like, and I'm going to be honest with you. That actually fired me up, got me so angry that I wanted to prove to the world, prove to society that I'm capable, that even though I have a learning disability, even though I got a mild case of dyslexia, even though I'm overweight, even though I have no dad, even though my brother went to a foster home, you can't tell me that I'm not going to go to college. So, I whipped tail, got out of special school, blah, 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 and I made it to college. I barely made it to college. It was a small, tiny college in Oklahoma, still here, all the way from the Bay Area to Oklahoma Baptist University. My youth minister she actually helped me write my paper because my SAT scores were so low. It was like, this dude's handicapped. So I get in there, I made it, man. And the regret that I have, I paid all this money, I did all this work. And one of the key elements that you need to do on your journey is develop relationships. To this day, right now, August 5th, 2016, I don't even think I run with anyone from OBU. Now, I know a few, thank goodness for Facebook, but man, that's where I failed. That's where I regret. Man, I spent all this money, all this energy, drove all the way from the Bay Area to Oklahoma. Now I live here, which I think Oklahoma's off the chain, but that's just me. And I don't have anything to show for that, And I blow people up all the time. You spend $60,000, $80,000 going to college. What do you got to show for it? And I'm talking about economics on that side, but I'm talking about on a relationship side. What levels of relationships are you developing? All right. So that's something that you need to think about, consider, respect the levels. All right. Now I'm on number 4. Now, keep in mind, I kind of lost track of my notes. I was emotional at the ET boot camp, once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm telling y'all, you need to get up on opportunities. When you're thinking about hearing someone speak and you don't want to go, you kind of want to go, but you don't want to go by yourself, or it's going to cost a couple. I'm telling you, I do classes and people can't spend $40. I'm telling you, I'm bringing it on my classes. Sign up. If you come across a class, go to it. You know, that's one thing I got out of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's like, man, when I started out, I went to every financial class I can get my hands on. It didn't matter what the cost was. Man, you're going to have that drive. If you want to go to the next level, if you want the lifestyle that everybody talks about, you got to go to the classes, you got to connect with people, and you got to learn. So I was emotional at this boot camp, and I wrote down notes, and I forgive me if this is not exactly correct, but I wrote down the word Rodney. This is one of the speakers there. He was off the chain, and he said some first things I just want to wrap up. He says, you don't bump into success. And I don't know if this is another guy, but he says success doesn't happen by accident. And I was like, man, you know, that's so true. You can't, it's just, you know, sitting at the house watching TV all day, ordering pizza doesn't bring in the dollar bills. It's actually going out the window. It doesn't do good for your body. It doesn't do good for your mind. You don't bump into success. I'm just stoked that you got this far in a podcast. It's 11 minutes and you still listen to this deal. This is somewhat successful. Hopefully these points, this content that I personally received, and I'm trying to translate it to you in a way that can impact you. Boom. He also said first impression. Man, wow. You know, I dress kind of down like blue collar, and I was like, man, you know, I need to step up my game. I need to upgrade myself. And, you know, so I went to Target and I got I'm telling y'all right now, I was looking through my wardrobe and I'm not at that level and I don't like clothes that much, but I was looking through my closet and, you know, Facebook smashed me the other day. It showed me a photo of the memories, 3 years ago, you look like this. And I saw a shirt in there. And that shirt that I was wearing that I wear all the time, that's like my go-to shirt when I go to meet a banker. Man, I've been wearing that deal for 3 years and it actually held up, and it was a Target shirt. So I was like, man, I got to step up my game a little bit. So, you know, I don't go to Target. It's not my spot. So I rolled up in there and they got these new dress shirts. It says the world famous best dress shirt ever. And it was $30. Now $30 is out of my league. You know, 15 is my number. Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. If you don't know about those stores, you need to hit those up. But man, I dropped $30 and I look money. I can't wait to go to a meeting, to a bank. I can't wait to go to a closing because I want to upgrade. I'm going to do a first impression. Thought that was awesome. Another thing this cat Rodney said, give 100% all the time. Don't slack. And he broke it down, and I wish I could articulate it for you. But what he said is like sometimes in your mind, you think that you're giving 100, but you know that you're only giving 80. And he's like, you really have to give 100% all the time. Give it 100. That's, ET, give it 100, 110, 120. Listen, I hope out of all this 13 minutes, give 100 for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real. Give 100. And he said this too, don't slack. And he said, there's a difference between motivation and discipline. He's like, sometimes you got to have a discipline, like brushing your teeth is a discipline. Changing your underwear is a discipline, right? But sometimes your discipline will supersede your motivation. When your lack of motivation, and I hope these podcasts motivate you, but your lack of motivation, you might need a discipline to help you with your motivation. And I was like, man, that's solid. I like that. So there's a difference between motivation and discipline. You need both on this journey of success or wealth or wherever you're on. So think about that. I'm always striving for discipline, man. I want to work out 3 times a week. These are the times, blank, discipline, boom, discipline. But sometimes, man, my discipline and my motivation is whack. My discipline, I trust the system. I trust the discipline. And when I'm like not want to do the discipline and I turn on an ED, thank God it's Monday, my motivation kicks in. Number 5 and final, anticipating the next move. I'm not sure who said this at the boot camp, but man, I thought about that for a minute. Anticipate the next move. Don't be reactive, be proactive. Think long term. I posted that the other day. Think long term. Anticipate the next move. Anticipate the girl coming back and say, like, I just locked up a contract the other day, or I'm in the negotiating, and I'm telling this lady that I'm going to close in 2 to 10 days. I'm like, so I'm anticipating, I'm about to fill out my loan document, or I'm about to request the money. I want to anticipate that she is going to accept my offer, I'm going to get the contract ready. It's in Google Drive, and I'm going to get I got my finance ready. I just got to request it. So anticipate your next move. You should be planning, blah, 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 but anticipate just the next move. Also, he said momentum. All right, get the ball rolling. You guys all story, personal development. Again, we're at 15 minutes and you wouldn't be this far if you weren't listening to, the personal development. But I thought about it like this: momentum. Momentum works. I ride a bicycle. I'm pedaling. I got momentum. I'm moving. It's easier as I keep going. Momentum. But get little small wins, and set little goals. Like, I'm going to make 10 phone calls today, or I'm going to send out 10 yellow letters today, or I'm going to connect with 5 other wholesalers today. Whatever, to get small wins, get that endorphins flowing, and then you create momentum, and then you can break through and you can give your all. And here's another one. Goals we set, we're in control of those goals. All right. So you are in control of your life and your destiny. Think about it. Don't give me no drama. Life sucks. Life does suck. Welcome to the club. But you are in control. You set those goals. You're overweight. It's take responsibility, but set the goals and know that you're in control. You can change that goal at any time. All right. That's it for today. Part 2, Eric Thomas. Go to his website, etinspires.com. Reminder, let go of good to be great and be a master of it. Man, I'm so sprung on that. I cannot tell you. I want to be great. Sometimes I got to let go of good. Hey, this may be your first time. I'm just so excited about this content. I don't even tell people about who I am and what I do, but my name is Stephen Van Kallenberg. I am the Savvy Landlord. I wrote a few books. You want to check me out, you can go to SavvyRadioShow.com. I got some podcasts. This is what it is. I got some interviews up there. I got some great interviews coming. I really appreciate all the support, the text messages, the emails. Mark White, I want to give you a shout out, man. You are filling my cup. I appreciate the love that you've given me. Thanks for Amin. Thanks for all these great people in my life that just encourage me, and I'm about to get emotional. But here's the deal. Be self-sufficient. Figure out to make money on the side. Get that money. Buy assets that are residual income. One more time, money every month. And then so you can take care of somebody else. Go buy assets. Be blessed.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.